What's up, Pickle Peeps, and happy Sunday! I want to talk to you about my day of doing nothing. Well, no, it's not nothing at all. I want to talk to you today about craft show R&D, craft show research, and how do you do yours, and how I kind of sort of do mine. So let's get to it. First, let's start with the numbers. We are officially in, I think, phase 8, something like phase 8. Yeah, I'm supposed to be starting the 12 days of Christmas. Yeah, I gotta sit down and do that. Anyway. In the numbers, emails, we got 4 email signups today. SMS is 0. Again, I've been doing a horrible job of promoting that, so I'm not surprised. And sales is $259.75. Moral of the story on that one is, if someone says they want to do a bulk purchase, and do you offer a discount for bulk, the answer should be yes. And if you don't have that built into your prices, you need to restructure your prices. So my shotgun snowflake ornaments, I have one sitting over here. I swear I do. Here we go. This is one of my special edition ones from last night. This piece right here, isn't that pretty? Yeah, that's my bestseller. That is my hands down holiday bestseller. And based off of my research today, next year I should probably make about 1,000 of them. So, I mean, I'm all set. I think I've sold around 60 of them this year so far. Anyway, beyond that. All right, so those are the numbers of the day. And it's a Sunday. I did have a list of stuff that I wanted to do, but the top of that list was to check out a specific craft show. So we have the German Christmas market that was hosted at the Sussex County Fair Grounds. Now, I have never been to this event before. I didn't even really know about it. I've been to the Sussex County Fair in the summer. I've researched and looked at their prices to apply for a booth there, and really came to the decision that people going to a county fair, A, probably want to spend all their money on booze and rides, and B, it's not going to be a good return on my investment, and the days are too long and too many for it to be worthwhile of my time and trying to get help in. So I exited on that one. But this event right here, I actually heard about from a vendor friend. Back in September, we do an event every year called ScanFest. It's a Scandinavian festival. It's amazing. If you're in the New Jersey area at all, you should totally come to ScanFest. It's the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. I was talking to some friends over there who do Viking knit, and they have they're not high end, but above the middle. I consider myself above the middle. I am usually the higher end of chainmail jewelry without going into full-on stainless and precious metal. So I'm the high end of aluminum. So the high end of the middle range is where I like to price my stuff, and it's where I can live very comfortably, very happy. These people are very similar to that. I think they do a lot more silver than I do. They go a lot more showy than I do. I think the cheapest item at their booth is $40. So go them. That's awesome. They told me about this event, and they said that it is their best event of the year. They do ScanFest. It's fun. They like it, whatever. But this is where they really make the bacon. And I was like, I gotta check this place out. It's 40 minutes from my house, if that. So, Friday was horrible weather. I forgot they even had it on Friday. I didn't realize that part. It was cold, it was windy, it was vicious, it was yuck. Yesterday was disastrous weather. It poured, rain, cold, miserable. Absolutely miserable yesterday. And then today was beyond beautiful. So my family was a little, disappointed about going today, or it ended up just being my mom and I who went, Cheerio and I. That's fine. That's awesome. She's like, really? We should put out Christmas lights and then go to the market. I'm glad we didn't go that route. It was the perfect weather for putting out the rest of the Christmas lights. And we have a large yard, and we do not a ton of lights, but it takes us 2-3 hours to put them up. So yeah, there's that. We have to buy more Christmas lights anyway. So in that way, yeah, it's all good. But we ended up going. They opened at 9. I think we left the house, we left around 10:30, so we were there probably somewhere around 11. And, oh my God. Now, I've been to a craft show at this location before, and it was horrible. It was full of high-end junk. And now, I shouldn't say that, because I don't mean disrespect to the artists, but it wasn't any product that I had any interest at all in buying, or even much so in looking at. It wasn't visually interesting to me. It was more of an art for art's sake, and I like more functional art. So that's that. that one, it cost us money to get in. It was like 2 buildings to walk through, like the big, if you've ever been to a county fair or a state fair, you know, like the buildings, they put the animals in and whatnot. Yeah, it's one of those. There was like 2 of those, so I didn't really expect much of this. And then we heard it was $10 to get in. I'm like, geez, but I know this venue. So I was like, well, it might be just what they need to cover the cost of the venue, or it might be what this venue is in charge of tickets. Maybe that's what it is. I had no clue. But so anyway, we get there, we're standing online. First off, we get there, we park. And you have to understand, this place is massive. So I was expecting parking pretty close to where you walk in. No, we were in the fields in the back. Not quite as far back as when we go to the New Jersey State Fair in the summer, but far enough that they had the tractor pulled wagons going around, and like they were telling you, make sure you're at G6. Remember, G6, that your car is at G6. You are stopped G6, all of that. We're like, okay, we get you. But we get in there and we get up to the front, and there is probably 100, 200 people online to get in. Maybe not 200, but 100, 150. And there's 2 lines. There's one line for people who have tickets they pre-ordered online, and the other line for people who did not buy tickets. So like, we didn't buy tickets online. We weren't 100% sure we were going to be able to make it. We're not pre-buying tickets. But so we stand in line, we get in, and we got no clue what we're walking into. And we're walking up, and then we see a map, and we're like, oh, holy shit. There's like 4 levels to this thing, plus food carts down the side, and a beer hall, and a giant train room, and like all the Santa stuff. It's just like, whoa. That was our answer. We were like, whoa, like we know what this place is like, and just wow to see it so well utilized for a Christmas market. And I must say, as someone, I've never been to a German Christmas market. The only time I've spent in Germany has been in an airport, really. But it definitely reminded me of the Easter markets that I saw in Prague and the Czech Republic, and some of the Italian markets that I saw when I lived over there. They definitely like conquered and really corralled in that vibe without everything being open air. I've been to like a bunch of Christmas markets in London. I did all of those, and it so captured kind of that vibe in there. And I gotta say, I really loved it. So we got there, and when we got there, we were able to walk around. Everything was great. We decided we were gonna get food, and then we didn't. Then we supported 4-H because we always like to support local, and they had like, oh, the worst coffee. I took half a sip and threw it out. It's like, thank you for your $2. You're welcome for your $2 donation for that cup of coffee, because that was just horrible. And the apple crisp that they had was really more sugar than anything else. I really didn't need that. I wish I went with a bratwurst and we went to the German food spot for that, but whatever. We wanted to walk and look around. They also had I regret not trying here, and then I promise I'll get back to how this relates to craft shows. But I regret, one of the booths had a bourbon maple cider, and so like, oh, I wish I'd tried that. It was $5 a cup, and we were moving, so I didn't, but oh, I wish I did. Anyway, okay, so the whole reason we were here was to check out if this would be a good fit for me for next year. So I want to know, question of the day here, as I've blathered on a lot, you guys, sorry, just been a good day, is how do you research shows and events? Like, if you do in-person events, and like, we've knocked the list down to under 10. It used to be, at my top for events, we did 42 a year. And that was not long-term sustainable, and just like, a lot of them weren't worth it. So we cherry-picked down and like created tiers and levels. It's like, okay, what are my requirements to go to an event? What do I have to make at an event to consider doing it again? All that kind of stuff. So like, I've determined I need to make a minimum of 8 times my booth fee to consider going back to an event. Really, I like more 10 to 12 times my booth fee as what I want to be making. And there's some I do a little bit less, but I keep going. And there's other ones that I like explode past that. But like, so the ones that might be a little less, I spent, well, no, actually that was 10 times booth. Never mind. Said the most expensive ones over my summer. Oh no, $450 for is the cost for the Capital District Highland Games, and we did not do $4,500 there. We did a lot less than that this year. We did around $3,000, but it's still like a $3,000 day. I'll take it. So anyway, all that. So that's like, I need to know that I'm going to have some kind of security on how much money I'm going to make back at an event. I need to go in there with those expectations. I cannot tell you the horror stories that I've heard over this holiday season. Actually, Shiro hears more of them than reports them back to me because I don't pay attention. But in a lot of the crafter groups and a lot of the high-end display crafter groups that we're in, we pay attention to, people talking about dropping $1,000 or more on a booth fee for an event and then not even making back booth. And like, that is gut-wrenching. I have definitely spent big money on booths before and not made it back. And that is the worst feeling in the world. And then you go and you sign up for a dinky little $40 event because it's local and you want to support your local people, and you end up doing like $800. So like, you never know. You never know. But it comes down to me, when I am looking at venues, can I get there and back again in a day? I don't want to do hotels unless I absolutely have to. I really don't like adding in hotel costs because that insinuates right in there how much gas we're going to need, extra meals we're going to need, and the hotel cost itself. So no, I don't want that. I want, if I can get there and back in a day, unless we're going to make a little family vacation out of it, then it's a different story. And I want to know, what is the traffic like? How many people are going to be there? Because your ideal client is mixed in, so if you get enough people there and going past your booth and paying attention to you, and that's a lot of qualifiers right there, you'll still make money. So what's their traffic like? Do they get people in? And then number 3, or C, I forget how I was numbering this, what kind of people are they? So, like, for Metals and Pieces, my jewelry brand, we have isolated it down to our best markets, our best events, our Scottish Highland Games. The people there really respond to my work. Why? I'm still not 100% sure. I think they like the rowdiness. I think they like the rebel spirit of it. And they like that I'm going to toot my own horn for a second. My bullet jewelry is classy. A lot of people do two-way jewelry, and it's not at all, but mine is. So I think they like that, and I do a really nice, subtle blend of pieces that are chainmail, that are bullet, but that can be worn every single day for the most part of it. So they're going to get use out of it, or they're going to get special occasion out of it. So, but you don't have to wear it at a run fair. So anyway, that's some things that I can, like, dial in on why I think they like me, but that has been the group that likes me. Now, to look at a comparable type of event, like Irish music festivals, Scottish Highland Games, Irish music festivals, they're not that different, are they? Well, the people who attend them and the reason they're there are very different. People go to Highland Games because they want to see the pipes. They want to watch the games. They want to shop the imports and the designer stuff. People who go to Irish music festivals want to drink and listen to bands. They're not interested in shopping. So, like, you have to classify your person who is there. Remember in the beginning I said about this venue hosts the New Jersey State Fair over the summer? Are those people highly interested in shopping who are going to the state fair? No. They're interested in rides. They're interested in food. They're interested in entertainment for the kids. They want to see the animals. They want to do that kind of stuff. They're not, like, any shopping that happens is a side effect. It's not a primary reason for being there. Now, this event right here definitely hits the qualifier button of, are your people there? Well, they hit, like, traffic. Oh my God, traffic. So this place is massive. By the time we left, and we left there like around 2:45 in the afternoon, like between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. When we left, you could not move in the buildings. You could barely move in the open air walkways. It was so packed. They had thousands. I wouldn't be surprised if they had 10,000 people there. Well, maybe that might be a little up on there, but they definitely had probably 8,000 people there. Yeah, they definitely hit the crowd. And while we didn't see a lot of shopping bags, this was Cheerios' big critique. As she was watching the crowd, she wasn't seeing shopping bags. And I was very interested in that because I was like, it's very strange because just about every booth we've passed has had exchanges going on, like people checking out. But I agreed, you didn't see big shopping bags, which could mean that people are just buying little things. Now, the first 5 things I bought went into my pocket, so I wouldn't be seen with a shopping bag. And I've spent a decent amount of money. It all fit into one little shopping bag that we had. So like Drew and I together dropped not a ton, but it's like a good amount. Like I knocked out quite a few people on my Christmas shopping list. And those bags did not amount to much. Now, you look at my jewelry, that doesn't, like, so back up a step right there. If you sold big things, Jesus, like, does that mean that people are not buying big things? I don't know. But most places we went to had lines to check out. So, like, people were there. You had to pay to get in. So it's not like it's a freebie event. I can't stand those. I do not do freebie events. Very, very, very few events that I do are freebies, meaning that there's no cost of admission. I want people to have some skin in the game for being at that event. They want to be there. There is stuff that they want to have from this place that you go to, not just, oh, let's go do something fun for the day. I drove all the way out to Oklahoma for a freebie event to learn this lesson that freebie events are not my friend. I was like, that means more people will be there. That's more chance of your ideal customer, right? No, it means more looky-loos are there. More people who are just there to be and have something to do for the day. So having that $10 entry fee, gate fee, fantastic. A lot of the Highland Games I do have between a $15 and $30 gate fee to get in. So you're spending $30 to get in. Some people have the mindset, and I won't lie, like my family oftentimes had the mindset that, oh dear God, if they have a $30 gate fee and you have a family of 4 going in, that's $120 out the gate just for walking in. How much money they have left to spend on stuff. That's a bad thought process right there. You need to up level who your client is if that's your thought process. So you want the people who don't care about dropping $120 for a family of 4 to be in there. Right? That's a different perspective. You have up leveled your customer. You've up leveled what you can charge them. So all of that aside, her big complaint was that we don't see people. Now, on the flip side, I did see just a couple of people who came with like those city shopping carts, the rolling, like the wire rack shopping carts, all that. Our other concerns for doing this next year, looking at it, and I have no decision today on whether I would do it or not. I'd definitely be interested in finding out more. But like, what's the weather? What's the conditions they have you at? So I have done shows in 100+ degree heat. I have done shows in the 20s, and I don't think it ever got to the teens at Skylands, but I think so. Those were not good shows at in those temperatures. I've done shows in beautiful sunshine days. I've done shows with hurricanes and tornadoes. Not the same show. They're different events. But I've run the entire gamut of weather. And so we looked at it, and she was like, you know, if you have a beautiful day like today was, where it was gorgeous, you're going to get a massive crowd. It's wonderful. And I was like, yeah. But at the same time, we run that same risk of weather at any event that we do. If it's hurricaning, if it's pouring rain, do people really want to go to an outdoor event in the summer? No. I don't know the answer to this, but if it's pouring rain and you're going to a Christmas market that only lasts 3 days and that you know you want to go to, and most of the vendors are inside, are you still going to go? Maybe. I don't know. How diehard are you? I don't know. They said they still had shoppers yesterday and the day before. I don't know that I trust them on that, but they said they did. So that's that. They said, my friend said this is like, I told you before, it's the best show of the year for them. So are you bringing people? You've qualified your people here. You've eradicated the looky-loos, the let's do something fun this weekend for free people. Just by having a higher gate fee. It wasn't $1, it wasn't $2 again, it was $10 again. So that's just a little bit skin in the game. So you have a higher income crowd who definitely cares. So now when we left at 3 o'clock, the lines of people to come in were longer than they were at 11. And the event ended in 2 hours, an hour or two. I think it went 9 to 4 today. So just very, very interesting. There were a ton of vendors. There were a lot, but there was not a lot of duplicates. So I think they have a really, really good juried, a good vendor coordinator, which could mean trouble for me. Because trying to get in on jewelry, like that's one of the most competitive genres in there. Jewelry and soap, I think, are the most competitive to get into on events. Or another thing it could be is an expensive booth fee that whittles out your wannabes. So I have no idea what it costs for the weekend. For the 3 days, it could be $300, it could be $500, it could be $1,000. I don't know. If it's $1,000, I'm probably not going to look at it. I might go watch another year. But my issue with like going and watching an event and then deciding whether to go in, I don't usually do this, honestly. My issue with that is you could have been learning firsthand if it was a worthy event, because you truly don't know. You can do all the research you want. You don't know until you're there with your product in front of you and talking to people whether you're going to sell or not. What I did see, I saw 2 military and veteran aimed stores there that had t-shirts and sweatshirts. I saw a metal sign store that was very 2A, very military, very that badass tone that I go for. And I saw a couple more booths that were, oh my god, one had raunchy mugs. It was hilarious. So freaking funny. Oh my god. They even had an adults only display, like peekaboo mugs. It was hilarious. But like, so there was a gamut of risque or things, and there were, like I said, there was not a lot of jewelry. A lot of the vendors had really, really nice products. Some of them had, I'm not gonna lie, shit. One of the, we'll call it kitschy vendors that we shopped at today, just because they had one, so you can be a kitschy vendor and still have one item that I thought was amazing. And I guess they didn't do very well because they, she had them on discount, but she took pom-poms, like the kind that go on a hat, pom-poms, and she put a button and a Rudolph nose and googly eyes on it, and antlers. The antlers actually made me almost not want it because they were so cheesy on the antlers. And then legs, and like some of them, we were looking for ones that had a good face that wasn't like smothered in glue. Like, I really don't know if 5-year-olds made these or not, but the concept of the pom-pom reindeer was just so freaking cute. I had to get it. It was $7. I'm like, take my money. I looked through the rest of her shop if there was anything else I would be even slightly interested in, and it was just untreated balsa wood shit. So I'm sorry. Like, she had one great thing, and I don't really mean offense to people, but it didn't fit at this market. Like, I could have seen her stuff doing stellar at a church show, doing stellar at a community or maybe a local high school, or you know what I mean. It didn't fit the caliber of the people around her. So beyond that, we saw a couple of people that we knew, or that we've followed at the different events. So as it stands, I'm definitely going to be asking for the application. I'll be sending an email into Dawn, the vendor coordinator, who is the same one that is the coordinator for the county fair. So that was interesting. And I definitely want to know, like, as we come into January and I start ironing out, like, what are my events for next year? As I start planning out, what are the events that I know I'm doing, and what are the events that I want to look at doing? Are there new events I want to try? Because that's always the thing. Like, I knock some off my list that aren't performing well. That opens up room to try other events. You don't know what your next best event is going to be. We don't know. My business first took off because I tried something random. I went to the Bonnie Bray Highland Games the last year they did it and had my first $1,000 day. Years and years and years and years ago. And, like, I didn't know. I tried Renaissance fairs, I tried craft shows, I tried communities, I tried firehouse shows and farmers markets and wineries, and you tried everything, figuring out where do you fit, where do you belong, where can you maximize profits, because you make sales anywhere, but where are you going to make the most sales for the least hassle? I do that at Highland Games. But I don't have any Christmas shows that I do. I don't have any holiday shows, and I feel like I want one. I just want one holiday show. That's not... one holiday show that has traffic, and I won't say anything mean. So, there we go. Let me look at my notes here. We checked out a show today. That was like all I did today. I really gotta get on this 12 days of Christmas thing. I really have to freaking do it. But, yeah, so my first one, we checked out the show today. We did some shopping. Oh my god, there was a glass, artist there that just, Cheerio's obsessed with glass, and like, she does the research, she knows she can go to estate sales and she can pick out Fentons and Muranos and all the craziness, and she tells me all about it, and I'm like, that's awesome. I do love Marigold Carnival glass, though. That's what I'm starting to collect from her. So she bought a tree and I bought her a Santa hat. It's just so awesome. But yeah, so like that's what I did today. So let me know. I want to know, do you have a process for investigating events? Do you just see one, be like, oh, I don't have anything going on that day, let's check it out. Let's just sign up and do the event. Do you have no friends? Like, do you talk to other vendors and find out about events that way? Because that's not always the most reliable either. Like, nothing beats experience at an event. I have been to plenty where I've talked to other vendors and they said, oh, it was amazing, and I try and I do shit. The other ones where people were like, that show sucks, don't do it, that's awful, and meanwhile I had the best sales day ever. So to every vendor booth, it is unique. But anyway, that was today. Tomorrow we are back in working strong on the plan, marching forward on MIFGE. Like, I'm ready to pull my hair out on this, and 12 days of Christmas. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.